Hours ago, Cassie Ventura took the stand for cross-examination in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Combs is currently on trial facing charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty. Now, if convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in bars. We will continue to cover that trial, but this trial has also raised a lot of other tough questions and topics surrounding domestic violence and sexual abuse. And we have someone here to provide some insight. Tracy Clark is joining us, and she is Director of Supportive Services at the Coburn Place, which supports safe housing choices to survivors of domestic violence and their children in the greater Indy area. And you are also a domestic violence survivor yourself.
Yes, I am. I was once at Coburn Place as well.
Okay, thank you for sharing and being brave enough to come here and share a little bit of insight. I think a lot of people do have questions as to how someone like Cassie could stay with her accused abuser for over 10 years. I mean, in your expertise, how does something like that happen?
Well, it's just so many different dynamics when it comes to abuse. On average, there are 7 attempts to leave before someone leaves. And the biggest foundation is power and control. And you can only imagine how that can change even more when you add celebrity into that power and control dynamic. That starts even when you're selecting someone who you're going to be a partner with. When you know that you're an abuser, a lot of times they select individuals who don't have a lot of friends and family that are connected to them, and they start that power and control dynamic. Additionally, many survivors are also controlled financially. So even if they wanted to leave, it would be very hard to do so with the resources that they have access to.
Okay, and you're kind of laying it out there right now because I think a lot of people are watching the television and they're like, why wouldn't she just leave, or why would she let some of those things happen? She's described a lot of graphic things that have happened to her, and you're saying it's not that simple.
It's absolutely not that simple. Many times there are threats involved when it comes to leaving, not only for yourself, but your family as well. And depending upon the power and control dynamic, those threats can be very believable. In my situation, I was with clergy. And so that was a person who was very powerful in the community. And there are many times where, unfortunately, you do not become a survivor of domestic violence and it becomes something else. And so there's a lot of fear when it comes to leaving.
Okay. And then, and again, thank you for being brave enough to share your story and trying to help other people figure out what should happen here. On the stand, Cassie did talk about her not having consensual sex with Diddy. She said that he raped her. Those are her allegations. And then saying that the two did have consensual sex and then went on a date later that night. Obviously, legally, there's a side of this. The prosecution is going to try to poke holes on this in that story. But from what you see in your practice, is that something that's common, that it's just ends up being a cycle of abuse?
Absolutely. The cycle is very common, and a lot of times it's not just, you look at these evil things that have gone on and you look at the things that, you know, really disturb people, but there are other sides of abusers as well. And typically they're very charismatic. They have a side that won that person over, and a lot of times they are impacting the mental health of the survivor as well. So they're going to do some things that are not normal to their character because at the point their mental health may be having some challenges also during that time.
Okay, listen, thank you for coming. I appreciate it, and we appreciate it, and just sharing some more insight into what this can look like and how this happens. Help is available. We have our National Domestic Violence Hotline. We have the number right there on your screen. But this interview is also going to be on our website at WTHR.com/SeenOn13. That's where you can find more resources if you or someone you know needs help, and you can find more direction to the Coburn Place as well. They provide help for people in the Indy area.